What if your life changed forever, not because of what you gained, but because of whom you found? This is the story of a billionaire whose destiny was rewritten on the streets. Deep in the heart of a glittering Middle Eastern city, where skyscrapers touched the clouds, lived Sheikh Ibrahim al-Mansour, a man who had everything money could buy: exotic cars, palatial homes, and an empire that spanned continents. Yet despite his endless wealth, there was an emptiness in his heart, a silent yearning for something priceless. Ibrahim and his wife Amira appeared to have a picture-perfect life, but what no one saw was their longing for a child, a missing piece in their perfect world. Little did Ibrahim know, a chance encounter in the busy streets below his towering office would change his life forever. Because in those same streets, a boy named Omar was fighting a battle of survival, a battle Sheikh Ibrahim couldn't ignore. Every face on the street hides a story, and Omar's story was one of heartbreak and resilience. While most kids his age played, he was fighting to survive. Omar was no ordinary boy. At just 12 years old, life had tested him in ways unimaginable. His parents, his protectors, were taken from him in a tragic car accident that left him and his younger sister Amina all alone. With no family and no safety net, the streets became his home and survival became his daily mission. But Omar was no victim of his circumstances. He sold trinkets, cleaned cars, and ran errands, anything to keep himself and Amina fed. Every coin he earned went toward her medicine and shelter, yet he dreamed of a better life for her, one where she didn't have to depend on his sacrifices. It was this determination, this glimmer of hope in his eyes, that caught the attention of Sheikh Ibrahim al-Mansour. A chance meeting that would intertwine their destinies forever. What would you do if a single moment could change the life of someone who's lost everything and your own in the process? For Sheikh Ibrahim, the decision wasn't easy, but it was life-changing. Ibrahim couldn't stop thinking about Omar. The boy's resilience, his selflessness, his fight for survival. While others walked past him like he didn't exist, Ibrahim saw something extraordinary. For the first time, he felt a deep connection, an unshakable feeling that this boy was meant to be part of his life. But adopting a child from the streets wasn't without challenges. Friends and business associates scoffed at the idea, warning Ibrahim against bringing unknown problems into his carefully crafted world. Even extended family members voiced their disapproval, fearing a stain on the Al-Mansour name. Amira, however, was a pillar of support. "This boy is a blessing," she said with conviction. Her words gave Ibrahim the strength to make the boldest decision of his life, to adopt Omar, no matter the opposition. As he took the first steps to bring Omar into his home, Ibrahim also vowed to protect his younger sister Amina. Little did they know, this decision would lead to a new chapter, not just for Omar, but for everyone involved. From the streets to a mansion, Omar had stepped into a world he never imagined. But behind the golden doors of wealth lay challenges he never expected. Omar's first days in the Al-Mansour mansion felt like a dream. Marble floors that shimmered like glass, chandeliers worth more than he'd ever seen in his life, and endless food at his fingertips. But luxury came with a cost. The household staff eyed him with suspicion, whispering about the street boy who had been brought into their pristine world. Wealthy guests at lavish dinners looked down on him, judging his every move. Even his school peers, children of the elite, mocked his rough manners and simple past. Omar tried to adapt, but the gap between his old life and this new world seemed impossible to bridge. Nights were filled with silent tears as he wondered if he even belonged there. And then there were whispers of danger. Word had spread that Sheikh Ibrahim had adopted street child, and it didn't take long for Ibrahim's business rivals to see an opportunity to exploit. Omar wasn't just fighting for acceptance, he was fighting to protect the family that had risked so much to give him a home. Just as Omar began finding his footing in his new life, the darkness of his past and the envy of powerful enemies came knocking, but this time the stakes were higher than ever. One evening, while returning from school, Omar noticed a black car trailing him. It wasn't the first time. Men in suits with cold eyes were watching his every move. And then it happened. A van screeched to a stop beside him. Before he could react, hands grabbed him, pulling him inside. Omar's instincts from the streets kicked in. He fought tooth and nail, biting, kicking, and screaming until they silenced him. The kidnappers believed they could use him as leverage, blackmail Ibrahim into a lucrative deal. But they had underestimated the boy they'd captured. Inside the dimly lit warehouse where he was held, Omar used his wits. Memories of the streets taught him how to slip his hands free of the ropes, how to navigate shadows, to stay unnoticed, and how to eavesdrop on their plans. Omar wasn't just surviving, he was planning his escape and a way to warn Ibrahim of the storm coming their way. This was Omar's moment. The time to prove that his life wasn't a mistake, that he belonged on in the world Sheikh Ibrahim had opened to him, but no one expected the events about to unfold. The Al-Mansour family was hosting a grand business gala at their estate, an event attended by the richest and most powerful names in the region. Sheikh Ibrahim needed this night to seal a critical deal, a merger that would secure his empire for generations, but the stakes were even higher than he realized. Omar, despite his best efforts, was nervous. Dressed in a crisp suit, he still felt out of place among the polished elites. As he watched the evening unfold, he overheard snippets of conversation that chilled him to his core, talks of sabotage, betrayal, and a looming threat against Ibrahim's business. Just as the deal was about to close, the rival party revealed their trap, a surprise move that placed Ibrahim in an impossible position. Guests gasped, tension filled the room. Ibrahim seemed cornered, but then Omar spoke. Drawing from his street smarts and the knowledge he'd gained in his new life, Omar exposed the rivals' deception with a bold argument. He used their own words against them, cleverly turning the tables. By the time he finished, the room erupted in applause. Sheikh Ibrahim's associates, once skeptical of Omar, now saw him as an asset, not a liability. But for Ibrahim and Amira, it wasn't about the deal. It was about pride in the boy they now called their son. Sometimes the most beautiful families are born not by blood, but by choice. And for the Al-Mansour family, their choice changed their lives forever. With the deal secured and their enemies defeated, the Al-Mansour family moved forward stronger than ever. Omar, no longer the boy from the streets, had found his place. His transformation amazed not only the family, but everyone who knew his story. Amira ensured that Amina, Omar's sister, received the best medical care money could buy. Her health improved dramatically and she became part of the family, her laughter echoing through the mansion. But Omar didn't forget his roots. He began using his new position and the Al-Mansour wealth to give back, starting programs for street children, providing education and shelter to those like him who had once been overlooked. Through their journey, the Al-Mansour family became an example of what compassion and love could achieve. They proved that family isn't about where you come from, but about the choices you make together. Every great journey ends with a purpose, and Omar's purpose was clear. His past wouldn't define him, but it would guide him. On a warm, quiet evening, Omar stood on the balcony of the Al-Mansour estate, looking out over the city that had once been his prison. The stars sparkled above, and a calm wind carried the distant sounds of the bustling streets. Sheikh Ibrahim joined him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You've come a long way, son," he said, pride shining in his eyes. Omar nodded but stayed silent, his gaze fixed on the streets below. Finally, he spoke. "There are so many kids out there who deserve a chance like I got. I don't want to stop here, Baba. I want to make a difference for them." The story ends not with wealth or power, but with purpose. Omar's journey was just beginning, and his dreams of helping others would inspire the next chapter, a legacy born from love, resilience, and the unbreakable bonds of family.